At the beginning of this assignment, we were tasked with choosing 5 different topics. These included physical and mental health, traffic, housing, Irish language, and water safety.
The topic he mentioned are all big issues. The reason we chose water safety is because Galway is surrounded by water, beaches, coastlines, rivers, and these come with many risks.
Every year people are impacted by accidents on the water. We realised if we could help make water safety information more accessible to people, it could help save lives. It's something simple, but that's why we chose this topic.
During our first meeting, we sat down, spoke about ideas, and assigned key roles to each member of the group, some tackling UI, research, etc. Ross started the research by interviewing Nikki Pfeiffer, a commercial diver.
Hello, so today I'm here with Nikki. Nikki, could you please tell us a bit about yourself?
I'm Nicky Pfeiffer. I'm 25 years old from Galway and I'm a commercial diver.
And how did you get into commercial diving?
I got into it just from growing up around the sea and working on boats and having an interest in diving, so I thought I'd make a career out of it.
And how often or how long have you been doing this for?
I've been doing this for the last 8 years as my full-time job, and I'd be in the water nearly every day.
Yeah, so you'd say you're in the water a lot. Now, as someone who works in the water, what would your biggest concern be when getting into the water?
The weather, it's all weather dependent and how accessible the information is to see, and if the currents and wind, rain, temperatures, fog, everything, they all play a part in it.
And in your opinion, is the public in general educated enough in terms of water safety?
Definitely not. This stuff is there, but it's people aren't sure how to use it. It's not published enough in online and stuff for people to see.
And what do you think could fix this problem, or what would one of your suggestions be?
Just a lot more information being more accessible, a lot easier for people to get. Say have it on beaches daily or where people like to go swimming.
Right. Thank you for your time, Nikki.
No problem.
After our interview with Nikki and seeing the commercial side of the water, we decided to make a survey and send it on to people in our local area.
Here's what we discovered over the duration of 5 days. So we started by asking participants how often they visit bodies of water in Galway, which included beaches, lakes and rivers. Here you can see some of the results. Secondly, we explored what information respondents would find useful on a water safety platform. Among the options, opinions were varied. Then we moved on to asking the people which safety practices they considered most important. Here's you can see what stood out. The top response was to stay sober around water, with 33% prioritizing this. Then we moved on to ask the question if people were familiar with the concept of water safety. 61% are somewhat familiar, while 27% feel very familiar. Our fifth question of the survey was to ask the people if the current water safety resources are sufficient for their needs. The majority, 12 respondents, felt resources were adequate. However, 40% believe improvements are needed, emphasizing a demand for better tools and initiatives. So now we moved on to the checking water conditions as another area of interest. Only 4 respondents only check the conditions, while the majority, 56%, do so occasionally. And our final question was regarding the real tide times and the current information, as it appears to be a game changer, with 50% stating it would significantly influence their activity choices. In conclusion, it is evident that these findings shed light on how people engage with water in Galway and the opportunities to enhance water safety awareness and resources. This data provides valuable insights for developing solutions such as water safety platform that addresses users' needs.
After assessing all the data that we gathered, we decided to come up with a UI for an application that would use QR technology that could be placed on site next to the shorefront for users to gather vital information about water temperature, currents, tide times, etc. Based on what we learned at User Experience Design, we decided to prototype the UI for our application. Once we were happy with how it looked on the whiteboard, we decided to use an online software called Studio X to create an initial draft of how the UI might look like.
Here you can see one of our users testing our prototype using the Think Aloud technique. Our initial prototype had several areas for improvement.
The widgets were hidden behind buttons, making it harder for users to access key information quickly, especially in emergencies. Secondly, the colour scheme was too vibrant and distracting, reducing reliability and making the app feel less professional. There was also no descriptions or guidance for the buttons, which left users unsure of what the features did. Finally, the layout felt cluttered, with features crammed together instead of organised logically. These flaws highlighted the need for a more user-friendly design, helping us refine our approach moving forward.
Based on this information, we decided to tweak our UI and actually launch it live on the domain saveseed.ie. We even printed live QR codes and placed them along shorefronts in Galway to further gather information and analytics. After tweaking our prototype, this is the live view. You simply scan the QR code, it will open in any browser and you'll be taken to the specific location of the QR code. You can see here now that everything is on the homepage. We can see everything about that specific location. We use windy.com widget API to pull weather information such as temperature, current and tide. We believe that this UI is much cleaner and simpler, and we would not have known without doing the initial prototype or user research.
We learned a lot of things when we were working on this project. After initial brainstorming, we decided to conduct some user interviews. Our first interview was with Nicky, who's a diver. He told us the features that he'd want to see on a website, things like tide times, water temperature, and wind speeds. After collecting this information, we decided to build our initial prototypes and send out some surveys. Following all this information, we decided to do a Think Aloud session, building our prototype. This Think Aloud session showed us where we went wrong with our initial prototypes, and it showed us the importance of conducting Think Aloud sessions and how they can be used to further improve your prototypes. We hope that people will find our website helpful and that it will improve water safety all around Galway.